I'm going to share a study with you. It is a study that makes the correlation between happiness and income growth. Now, obviously, there's some bias in this. I want to share the article with you, but the point of this conversation today is to give you guys some thoughts and some ideas and some angles on how to create some really cool, fresh content in your markets and really say, okay, cool, I never really looked at it that way. And so I'm going to share an article with you that was created by Smart Asset. So I want to pull up my screen today. I'm going to share some statistics. I'm going to share some thoughts. So feel free to take some notes, but I will also share this article with you guys. That way you have it. I'm going to put it in the chat below. That way you guys have this. So this was a report done by Smart Asset. I just actually came across this this site. If you guys have seen it before, cool. You guys get a good understanding of what this is. So top 25 places where Americans are the happiest. And here's what the study breaks down for you guys so you can understand the context of this conversation. So Smart Asset analyzed the 200 largest cities. 164 of those had available data. 13 different metrics were analyzed across 3 different categories. And here's the categories for you guys. Personal finance, let me let Valeria in, well-being, and the quality of life. So let me say that one more time. 13 different metrics analyzed across 3 different categories: personal finance, well-being, and the quality of life. And so when we look at the statistics and look at this report, California dominated, and they dominated the top 10 category with cities like Fremont, Sunnyvale, and the lower percentage of people with poverty, high marriage rates, and low violent crime rates. And so what I want you guys to do is I want you to look at this report. And once again, I'll put this in the chat the way you guys can refer to that. You guys can go to this report and just hover over these little bubbles on here. What I've done is I want to talk about 3 that are probably in your market, since we have several different markets here. We have Sacramento, we have the Bay Area, and we have Southern California. So figure we can talk about those 3. So let's just take Fremont. Who in this room right now represents Fremont, has sold a house in Fremont, or lives in Fremont? Please give me a show of hands. Give me a reaction below. Yeah, okay, cool. Adrian, I knew your hand would go up. So we'll come to Fremont in a second, but check this out. Sunnyvale came in at number 1. And just look at these numbers here. And I wrote some notes here just to preface this. The highest percent of individuals, let me let Bo in, the highest percent of individuals earning $100,000 or more. That was 62.5% of the population in Sunnyvale is earning $100,000 or more. They're the 3rd lowest in percentage of adults living below poverty level, which was roughly 5%. They're the 5th highest in marriage rates at 56.8%, and violent crimes were actually ranked at number 9, roughly 149 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. So just saying this alone, you guys, there is tons and tons of thoughts of what we can create for content. We'll go through that in a couple minutes, but let's look at Fremont. So Fremont ranked number 3. It's actually should say number 4 there based on this report. So Fremont ranked number 4 for both its highest percent of individuals earning $100,000 or more. That's at 55.4%, and its low living costs relative to income at 32.17. The city also ranked number 2 for both percentage of adults who live below the poverty level of 4.9%, and marriage rates were at 61.6%. Now let's go down to Irvine. So once again, this number is about 46% for people earning $100,000 or more. Low crime rates in Irvine, 51 crimes for every 100,000 residents. Additionally, the county which Irvine is located is number 10 for both percentage of residents reporting poor mental health days and expected life expectancy of 82 years of age. So here's what I want you guys to do is I want you to take this report. I want you to look at the different categories. I want you to look at the different percentages, but then I also want you to do some fact checking and go back and look at how all of this data is pulled, right? I'm not going to share any information because this is going to be shared with the world that doesn't have some level of validity towards it. And so I want, or behind it. So in regards to personal financing, percentage of individuals earning $100,000 or more, that data comes from the U.S. Census Bureau of 2011. cost of living as a percentage of income. As you can see, once again, this comes from the US Census Bureau as well. Personal bankruptcy filing per 100,000 residents, that is pulled from the uscourts.gov. And then down payment to income ratio, that data is pulled from the America Community Survey. Well-being. The way that they rank this well-being category is they take the percent of reported poor mental health days. The data was collected from the county health ranking. Life expectancy, data is pulled from the county health ranking as well. So you have all these sources that share with you how these things are impacting the quality of people's lives, why they're living longer, why there is less crime, why people are making more money in these communities, in these areas, and how that truly, truly affects people's minds, their quality of life, how they raise their children. Now, obviously, every single market is going to have challenges. Every single market is going to have some level of poverty. But if you live in these areas, if you understand the dichotomy of these areas, if you understand the people that live within these communities, then guess what? You speak to those types of consumers on your social media and you create content based on this information. Because what I can already see right now is one of you guys, 10 of you, 50 of you, hopefully a high number of you are taking this information, it's on a green screen, and you guys are going through this information and you're sharing. Because I tell you what, this is a really, really good article. I don't know if anybody saw Kenny's video the other day where he pissed a ton of people off. Did anybody see that video? Good for him, because why? Because that created engagement at the highest level. I'm taking a different approach and I'm sharing with people why these places are so great to live. Some of these cities are cities that you guys represent, will represent, have represented, have clients in, have clients moving to. So I want you guys to take this information, dissect a section of it, or preface the whole entire article and do some type of content around this. I think that this is a really, really good read.